Leicester City remain top of the table over in the Championship, of course, after another stellar performance this past weekend. But Ipswich, game was postponed. Can they make up amends this coming midweek? We're going to take a little look. Prediction video today. We take a look at matchday number 13. That's right, over in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been, smash the old subscribe button back and say all things Championship related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We're gonna all hear boys under one roofski. Preston still in the mix in the playoffs, despite having a bit of a stalled game up against Millwall. But of course, can they bounce back to make another push for those top 2 spots this coming midweek? We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, people shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, of course. You know who you are. And again, make sure you bang the like. Make sure the YouTube algorithm works for you by making it provide you the content that you want to watch. Prediction shows like this, championship shows like this, of course, and supporting the channel as well, and by supporting the video. So smash the like. A whopping 78% of you are also not subscribed. What's that all about? Make sure you do the honors and hit the subscribe button. But anyway, let's bring you bang up to date with what's going on elsewhere over in, of course, the Championship, my score lines, all that kind of lines, your score lines in the Super Brew. So let's fire that sucker up as well. So let's get into it, of course, recap my scores and hopefully see how we got on in the prediction league. So, of course, the first game, Friday night, was, of course, all eyes on Rotherham against Ipswich Town, but guess what? It was postponed. Oh, my goodness. I went with a draw on that one, so we'll have to wait and see whenever that comes around. Of course, Preston North End, draw against Millwall was the final score there. I went with a 2-1 win for North End, but no, they were denied. Rovers with a scrappy 1-0 win against Cardiff. I'm not going to lie to you here. I went with a 2-0 win, though, so right towards the money there. Bristol City with a 1-0 win over Coventry. I went with a 1-0 win, not too shabby on that one. Borough with a 1-0 win over Birmingham. I went with a 3-0 win, not too shabby there. Watford with a 1-0 win over Sheff Wed. I went with a 2-1 win as well. Not too bad for me so far. Meanwhile, Huddersfield Town with a 2-1 win over QPR. I went with a 1-0 win. Again, not too shabby there. Hull City did lose to Southampton 2-1. I went with the 2-2 draw. Then Norwich City 3-1 win I went, but it was a 3-2 win the other way. Stoke with a 2-1 win over Sunderland. I went with a 1-1 draw. Leicester City 2-0 winners was my pick over Swansea. 3-1 it was final score. And West Bromwich Albion 0-0 in the end. Of course, that's the situation with those guys. Let's, of course, fire up the Super Brew if I can get that sucker locked in here. Bollocks to it with the password. Of course, that's the situation in the table. As you can see right here, right now, we've got Leicester City top of the table with Ipswich right on their heels. 5 points the gap now, but of course, they do have that game in hand. Leeds making a push for the top 2 right now. Of course, don't rule them out for top 2. I think we will start to see them as serious contenders as the season goes on. Sunderland hit a bit of a rough patch as well. Going down Wednesday, Rotherham and QPR Rovers on the push as well, up to 15th. But they're going to take on 14th place Millwall this weekend. But anyway, that's, of course, we'll talk about that very, very soon because I think that's the first game around the corner. But let's, of course, remind ourselves of how we all got on in the Super Brew then, shall we? Of course, going to hop over there right about now. I'm just going to load it up and, of course, see how you guys got on and see how I got on, of course. So here we go. Of course, that's it to the table. James PCFC kicking ass with 20 points on the board. 16, TRB up there with 16.5. Stevel up there also with 16. Daddy Cool 16. And then the chasing pack. I thought I did well. I'm down there with 11 points, which is... it's okay. It's not too shabby, but really we need to start getting real high scores if we're going to be in the realistic thingy-jiggity bob here. But of course, the biggest movers or the situation in the table has 37, top the charts with 135 points. Alongside Vinny Hong, level on points, goal difference. I don't know. Something, of course, has knocked him off top spot. Taya B up 2 spots to number 3. And of course, the biggest mover we have, of course, the Beast, Sexy Hoagie up 3 spots each. Even I'm saying up 6 spots to 15. Have I gained on Philly Rovers? Have I gained on him? I don't think I have. I'm up 1 spot. He's up 3 spots. Oh, of course, it's a double match week, so we are looking forward to hopefully changing that a little bit. But if you see your name in there, make sure you subscribe. Of course, the games are coming thick and fast. And of course, we're looking forward to them right about now. This is the link, EFL Champ, getting amongst it, of course. And these are the games, of course. And we are jumping. And these aren't the games. These are not the games. What are you going on about? Hampshire. There we go, of course. A quick bit about magic there, and that is the games right here, right now. These are the midweek games, kicking it all off with Millwall against Rovers, and that's where we're going to start this, of course, midweek party over in the Championship. Quick reminder of the Super Brew link, of course, because it's there. But, of course, let's get into it with, of course, the bit of a zinger chicken dinner. It is Millwall, it is Rovers, it's at the Den, and we will have a watch-along. Pete, coming back from Iceland, Reykjavik, all geared up and hoping to continue where I've left off with back-to-back wins. No pressure, Pete, no pressure. Anyway, played each other 18 times in 2012. Got 3 wins for Millwall and 9 wins for Rovers and 6 draws. Of course, biggest win for Millwall, 2-0 win, scoring 17 goals in 18 matches, 0.94 goals a game. Rovers on the flip side, 2-0 win, their biggest, scoring 26 goals in 18 matches, 1.44 goals a game. Rovers on 50% form right now, 1-2, lost 2 and draw. Actually, 1-3, lost 3 over the last 6, 15th for the table with 16 points on the board. Up against Millwall, they're on 14th points right now, 14th for the table with 16 points on the board. 58% form for them right now, just 1 defeat of the last 6, however, 1 win in 5 if you want to look at it a different way. Last time around, over at the Den, it was that 7-goal thriller. 4-3 it was for Rovers in the end, denying Millwall a playoff spot and also bursting our own bubble in the process. Rovers unbeaten against Millwall over the last 6. Pretty tasty, but of course the odds right here are now 11-8 to your Millwall, 2-1 to your Rovers, 12-5 is the draw. Could go either way, but I've got to back my boys here, back my boys with a draw. Going with a draw, conservative, I think it's good, just to keep the unbeat, or at least get wheels moving for Rovers. And of course, possibly new manager bounce for Millwall with Kevin Muscat possibly lined up to take over the reins at Millwall. But we'll see. If there is no new manager, then I think we'll nick it. Huddersfield Town up against Cardiff, of course, coming at you over at the John Smith Kirklees McAlpine Stadium. Now, these two sides have played each other 21 times since 2002. We've got 4 wins for Huddersfield, 12 for Cardiff, and we've got 5 draws, of course. Biggest win for Huddersfield, 2-1 win, scoring 16 goals in the 21 matches, 0.76 goals a game. Up against Cardiff, of course, 4-0 win, their biggest, 36 goals scored in 21 matches, 1.71 goals a game. They're, of course, at the minute, 42% form right now, just 1 win in 5, 11th in the table, and 17 points on the board. Up against Huddersfield Town, what we're looking at, just 1 defeat the last 6, 50% form for them right now, 1-1, lost 1, drawn 4, 18th for the table with 14 points on the board. Possibly, if Huddersfield do win, they could possibly jump ahead of Cardiff in the table. Last round over at Huddersfield was a 1-0 win for Huddersfield back in September 2022. They're unbeaten against Cardiff over the last 3, but the odds here, we have Huddersfield 7-5 for the victory, 5-2 is draw, 90-10 is your way win. Cardiff were a little bit threatening against Rovers. Of course, the game was we're a little bit lucky to get the full result last time around, but Cardiff did show some quality. But I do think Huddersfield at home will nick it, 2-1 win. They're starting to click, starting to gel under Darren Moore, and I think they'll get a win on this one. Next up, of course, we have Leicester City flying high up against Sunderland, who seem to play better away than they do home. Played each other except for against Stoke. Played each other 24 times since 1994. We're 10 wins for Leicester, 7 wins for Sunderland, and we've got 7 draws, of course. Biggest win for Leicester, 5-2 win. Scored 30 goals in 24 matches, 1.25 goals a game. Sunderland, 2-0 win, their biggest, 23 goals scored in 24 matches, 0.96 goals a game. 50% form, though, for Sunderland right now. 1-3 and lost 3 over the last 6 back-to-back defeats, though. They are 6th in the table with 19 points on the board. Up against Leicester, 4 wins on the bounce, 83% form for them right now, top in the table, of course. Last round at the King Power Stadium, 2-0 win it was for Leicester back in April 2017. That was in the Prem de la Prem. The odds here, 50-8 on is your Leicester, 10-3 is your draw, and 5-1 is your long shots. Of course, Leicester will win this one at home, despite Sunderland being quite decent on the road. Leicester unstoppable at the moment. Meanwhile, Norwich threw it all away against Leeds last round. Can they get the result against Middlesbrough over at Carrow Road? Played each other 17 times in 1997, got 7 wins apiece and 3 draws. Biggest win for Norwich, 2-0 win, scoring 16 goals in those 17 matches, 0.94 goals a game. Borough on the flip side, their biggest win, 5-1 win, scoring 25 goals in 17 matches, 1.47 goals a game. Borough on the on an uptick right now, 6 wins on the bounce, 100% form for them right now, 13th for the table and 17 points on the board. Up against Norwich, 10th for the table, 17 points on the board, just 1 win in 6. The Canaries are flagging at the minute. Last round, though, over at Carrow Road, it was a 2-1 win for Borough, who are unbeaten in the last 3 against Norwich, picking up a couple of wins and a draw to boot. The odds here, 7-5 is your Norwich, 13-5 is your draw, 9-5 is your way win. Norwich are very hit and miss right now, more towards the miss than the hit. Middlesbrough are red hot, but for whatever reason, I've got a gut feeling going with an away win, home win here, 3-1 win for Norwich to upset the form book, I would imagine. Anyway, Swansea City up against Watford, coming out over in Wales. Now, these two sides have played each other 18 times. 2008, we got 8 wins for Swansea, 7 for Watford, and we've got 3 draws, of course. Biggest win for Swansea, 4-0 win, scoring 22 goals in those 18 matches, 1.22 goals a game. Up against Watford, their biggest win, 2-0 win, scoring 19 goals in 18 matches, 1.06 goals a game. Back-to-back games, though, without a loss for Watford right now. 33% form for them right now, 19 for the table with 13 points on the board. Up against Swansea, just the 1 defeat the last 6, 17 for the table and 15 points on the board right now. Last round at Swansea was a 4-0 win for Swansea, who did the double over Watford last time around. round. Of course, looking at the odds right here, right now, we do have Swansea 13-10 for the victory. We have 12-5 as a draw. 21-10 is your away win. That is, of course, Watford. Going to go with a home win here. 2-0 win for Swansea. They've looked good at recent times and, of course, starting to make a push up the table. Next up, we have West Bromwich Albion up against QPR over at the Hawthorns. Played each other 32 times in 1986. We've got 15 wins for the Baggies, 9 for QPR, and we got 8 draws, of course. Biggest win for West Brom, 7-1 wins, scoring 57 goals in those 32 matches, 1.78 goals a game. Up against QPR, their biggest win, 4-1 wins, scoring 42 goals in 32 matches, 1.31 goals a game. QPR down at 22nd right now, 8 points on the board, 17% form right now, 4 defeats on the spin. Up against West Brom, they are 9th in the table with 17 points on the board, just the 1 defeat at the last 6. But QPR haven't won in the last 7 matches. And of course, last time played at the Hawthorns, it was a 2-2 draw back in April 2023. But the odds right here, right now, we have West Brom 20-13 on for the victory, 3-1 to the draw, 4-1 as your long shots. Gonna go with a 2-0 win for West Brom, making a push for the playoffs. And of course, QPR looking very much lost at sea at the moment. Into Wednesday's games now, we got Wayne Rooney FC up against Hull City. Played each other 21 times since 2006. We got 6 wins for Birmingham, 10 for Hull, 5 draws, of course. Biggest win for Wayne Rooney FC, 3-0 win, scoring 23 goals in 21 matches, 1.10 goals a game. Up against Hull, their biggest win, 6-1 win, scoring 36 goals in 21 matches, 1.71 goals a game. Hull down to 11th right now, 17 points on the board, just a 1 win in 6, 42% form for them. Up against Birmingham, 2 wins the last 6, what we have, 42% form for them right now, 7th in the table with 18 points on the board. Last time round over at St Andrews, it was a 1-0 win for Hull, picked up that win back in December 2022. But the odds here, Birmingham coming at you 30-10 for the victory, 12-5 is the draw, 21-10 is your away win. Yet to get going, I have Birmingham, of course, under Rooney, but Hull also flagging a little bit. I'm going to go with a draw here, point apiece. What do you think about that? Let me know down below. Next up, we do have Bristol City against Ipswich Town. Bit of a zinger this one. Of course, Bristol City have played Ipswich 22 times since 1998. We've got 7 wins for Bristol City, 9 wins for Ipswich, and 6 draws, of course. Biggest win for the hosts here, 3-1 win, scoring 23 goals in 22 matches, 1.05 goals a game. Up against Ipswich, their biggest win, 6-0 win, scoring 34 goals in 22 matches, 1.55 goals a game. Of course, the Tractor Boys unbeaten in at least the last 6 games, 92% form for them right now, 2nd in the table with 28 points on the board. Up against Bristol City, who did have a good result this past week at home against Coventry, 3 wins the last 6, 50% form for them right now, 8th in the table at 18 points on the board. Last time around, over at Thrashton Gate was a 1-1 draw back in March 2019. But the odds right here, right now, we got Bristol City 12-5 for the victory, 13-5 is the draw, 21-20 is your away win. Of course, they are favoured at Ipswich Town, but for me, going to go with a sneaky home win here. Ipswich will have a shit one, this one, despite the with the hiccup last week. This one not working in their favour. Not really a great return following the international break. Meanwhile, Plymouth Argyle up against Sheffield Wednesday, of course, over at the South Coast. Played each other 20 times in 2003. We've got 9 wins for Plymouth, 6 wins for Sheffield Wednesday, and 5 draws. Of course, biggest win for the Green Army, 4-0 win, scoring 34 goals in 20 games, 1.70 goals a game. Up against Sheffield Wednesday, their biggest win, 4-2 win, scoring 23 goals in 20 matches, 1.15 goals a game. Wednesday, without a win in at least the last 12 games, they're on 70% form for them over the last 6, 24th in the table with just 3 points on the board. Plymouth down to 21st right now, 12 points on the board, just 1 win in 6, 33% form for them heading into this. Last time around, they're over at Home Park. It was a 2-1 win for Plymouth back in October 2022, but the odds here, we have Plymouth Argyle 21-20 for the victory, 12-5 is the draw, 11-4 is your away win. Is it going to be our first win for the new coach at Sheffield Wednesday? Not this time. Plymouth at home, red hot, or should be red hot, or too hot to handle anyway, over Wednesday. Meanwhile, Preston off end up against Southampton, of course, coming out deep down. Now, these two sides have played each other 10 times, 2005, 3 wins for Preston, 4 for Southampton, 3 draws, of course. Biggest win for North End, 5-1 win, scoring 16 goals in those 10 matches, and we got 1.60 goals a game. Up against the Saints, their biggest win, 3-1 win, scoring 15 goals in those 10 matches, 1.50 goals a game. They're unbeaten in the last 4 now, Southampton, 58% form for them right now, 5th at the table, and 20 points on the board. Up against Preston, who are 4th, of course, 21 points on the board, however, without a win in 5, 33% form for them right now. Last time round, over at Deepdale in competitive action was a 3-2 win for Southampton back in November 2008. It's been a long time, guys, but the odds here, Preston 23-10 for the victory. We got 12-5 is the draw, 6-5 is your away win. We are going with a tight one, 2-1 win for Southampton. Of course, both sides in the playoffs, but 4 kickoff, but I think maybe only one will be there after this game. Meanwhile, Rotherham United up against Coventry City. Of course, Rotherham game postponed last time round. Looking forward to this one, I imagine. Played each other 16 times since 2001. We got 4 wins for Rotherham, 7 wins for Coventry, and 5 draws, of course. Biggest win for Rotherham, 4-0 win, scoring 18 goals in 16 matches, 1.13 goals goals a game up against the visitors. Their biggest win, 2-0 win, scoring 19 goals in 16 matches, 1.19 goals a game. Coventry, 1-2, lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6. That's 50% form for them right now. 16th in the table with 15 points on the board. Up against Rotherham without a win in 6 now, 23rd in the table with 6 points on the board. Last round at the New York Stadium, it was a 2-0 win for Coventry back in February 2023. The home side's only won once of the last 5. That's when Coventry beat Rotherham in Coventry back in December 2020. But the odds right here right now, 3-1 is your Rotherham. We've got 5-2 is your draw. 2019 on is your Coventry. They are favoured here, but not for me. Going with a bit of a draw here, 1-1 apiece. Points in the bag. I think Rotherham will be happier. Coventry, not so much. And Stoke City against Leeds United, of course, coming at you as well this midweek. Played each other 11 times in 2004. We've got 4 wins for Stoke, 5 for Leeds United, and 2 draws, of course. Biggest win for Stoke, 4-0 win, scoring 17 goals in 11 matches, 1.55 goals a game. Leeds, 5-0 win, their biggest, scoring 21 goals in 11 matches, 1.91 goals a game. They're on 75% form right now, just 1 defeat the last 6. Third in the table with 22 points on the board. Up against Stoke, 2 wins the last 6, 33% form, 20th in the table with 13 points on the board. Last time around, though, over at the Bet365 Stadium was a 3-0 win for Leeds United back in August 2019. That was in the Championship. But the odds here, you have 13-5 is your Stoke, 13-5 is the draw, even Stevens is your Leeds. Of course, you got to go back Leeds on this one. They've been red hot against Norwich, coming back from absolute nowhere. They'll continue with the left off with a 3-1 win against Stoke. And that, my friends, I believe, completes the pack right here, right now. That's my picks, of course, for this weekend's match, or this midweek matches. Of course, they do come in thick and fast. And of course, this is what they will look like in my eyes. Get a load of that. Bristol City in the playoffs into 5th spot. Preston hanging on in there, though, in 6th spot. Going down QPR, Rotherham, and Sheffield Wednesday. That's, of course, my take. Of course, we'll see how I get on, of course, next time around. But, of course, make sure you bang the like, of course. Make the YouTube algorithm work for you guys, providing you the content that you want to see. Also, make sure you subscribe. A whopping 78% of you are not subscribed to the channel. What's that all about? Do us all a favour. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and, of course, we'll return for the next games this coming weekend. But until then, we're done.